Crazy SIL has an affair with my high school ex just so that she can spite me, and brings him as her +1 at my wedding, but before I could even react, karma served itself. So, this all went down 2 weeks ago, and I still can't wrap my head around it. I, 29F, recently married my amazing husband, 30M. He's the love of my life and the first man I ever truly trusted after a horrible experience with my ex. But I'll get to that later. Let me just get this out of the way. My husband's sister, 34F, has never liked me. I don't know what her issue is, but from day one, she's had this attitude toward me. I honestly think that she's the queen of backhanded compliments. She'd love to say things like I look surprisingly decent for someone who didn't grow up in a wealthy family, or that I should be grateful that I'm decently smart because my looks wouldn't have gotten me anywhere. So, yeah, she definitely has never liked me. She's also constantly stirring up drama, whether it's gossiping about me to other family members or throwing little digs at me whenever she gets the chance. My husband always stood up for me, but after a while, I just stopped reacting to her nonsense. I didn't want to create a bigger wedge between them because I believe that my husband's relationship with his family shouldn't have to change because of me. I wasn't ever upset by her comments, mostly just appalled at her audacity. I was also secure enough in my relationship with my husband that her comments never made me feel insecure about him. Unfortunately, no matter how hard I tried to ignore her comments, things only got worse after my husband and I got engaged. I decided to extend an olive branch and allowed her to be a part of the wedding planning because I hoped that she would see that I was a nice person and maybe it would lead to a change in her attitude towards me. Of course, that was stupid of me because she was a nightmare during the wedding planning. She'd criticize my choices, question everything, and throw tantrums when she didn't get her way. When I picked my best friend as my maid of honor, she had a meltdown about how I was excluding family. It got so bad that I finally asked her to back off entirely until the wedding day. My husband fully supported me, but even he couldn't believe how far she was pushing things. I thought this would be the end of her meddling, but I should have known better. On the day of our wedding, she showed up late, which honestly didn't surprise me, and I was kind of glad about it because I knew that she'd bring drama with her the second she showed up. I was glad that I had some time of fun before she ruined everything, and I was not wrong about that hunch. She chose to bring my high school ex as her +1 to my wedding. For some more context, this guy was my first ever boyfriend and he was very abusive behind closed doors. The only reason the relationship ended was because I caught him cheating on me. When I confronted him about it, he humiliated me publicly and made me question my worth. It took me years to rebuild my confidence after him. I've only dated one person since, and that's my husband. My husband is everything my ex wasn't: kind, loyal, and supportive. But seeing my ex at my wedding felt like a punch in the gut. I managed to pull my SIL aside during the reception and I asked what she was thinking when she chose to bring my ex-boyfriend to my wedding. She brushed it off and acted like it wasn't a big deal. She then smugly told me that I shouldn't have a problem with my ex because I should be over it by now. It was clear she brought him just to spite me. My husband wanted to kick them both outright then and there, but I asked him not to. I didn't want to create more drama on what was supposed to be our special day. I decided to ignore her and try to focus on enjoying myself, even though I was seething inside. But karma had other plans. An hour into the reception, her long-term boyfriend showed up. My husband had invited him as a surprise for her. They'd been in a long-distance relationship for the past 2 years because of his job. My husband thought it'd be sweet to have him there since she hadn't seen him in months. What we didn't know was that their relationship was on its last legs, and for good reason. When we walked in and saw her with my ex, he lost it. He grabbed the microphone and called everyone's attention. He decided that it was time to expose myself for the horrible person she was right then and there in front of everyone. He told everyone that she'd been cheating on him for months. He said he'd noticed her pulling away recently and decided to log into her social media accounts to see what was going on. That's when he found out she'd been texting multiple guys, including my ex. He called her a liar and a manipulator and said she and my ex deserved each other. The room went dead silent. My SIL started crying and trying to explain, but her boyfriend wasn't having any of it. He stormed out after dropping the mic literally. As if that wasn't enough, my ex added fuel to the fire by loudly saying he had no idea that my SIL was in a relationship. All of our guests were whispering and staring at my SIL, and she was completely humiliated. My husband and I had enough at that point. We got the venue staff to escort her and my ex out of the wedding. The rest of the night was a bit awkward, but we managed to salvage it and still have a good time. The guests couldn't stop talking about the drama, though. It was like a real-life soap opera. Since then, my SIL has been blowing up my phone and begging me to clear her name or at least give her the chance to do it herself. She claims that she didn't know that her boyfriend was coming, and she also thinks that I set her up by inviting him. She also insists that she didn't mean to ruin my wedding and that I've taken things too far by ignoring her. I'm still furious with her, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel a little bad. She got humiliated in front of everyone, and while she brought it on herself, it was a lot to witness. Still, she brought my ex to my wedding out of pure spite. She knew how much he hurt me and didn't care. Now, some family members think I should talk to her and hear her out, but I don't know. Ida for refusing to help her after what she did. Update 1. First off, while I didn't expect my post to blow up like it did. Thank you for all the comments, advice, and support. Some of you had great questions, and a lot has happened since my original post, so here's the update you've all been waiting for. Let me start with a few questions people kept asking in the comments. 1. Did your husband actually do anything about his sister after the wedding? Yes, he did. My husband is done with her. He told his sister that she wasn't welcome in our lives anymore unless she took real accountability for her actions and made a sincere apology not just to me but to everyone she dragged into her mess. She tried to argue that I was the one being unreasonable, and she even accused me of stealing her brother. Like, what does that even mean? She even tried to say that if I hadn't opened my mouth about my ex-boyfriend in front of her, she'd never have even known about him. Yeah, my husband and I were shocked by her audacity. My husband told her he wasn't going to entertain her drama anymore. As far as he's concerned, their relationship is over until she gets her act together. 2. What's the deal with her parents? Why haven't they stepped in? Oh, they've stepped in, all right, but not in the way she wanted. After hearing everything she pulled, my husband's parents are furious with her. They told her that she embarrassed the entire family and they have temporarily cut her off financially. Apparently, she's been leaning on them for money for years because she's been too busy to hold down a stable job. Right now, she's couch surfing with friends because they refuse to let her move back in. Obviously, my SIL is losing her mind. She's been spamming my husband's and my phones with texts and voicemails about how we've ruined her life, but we've mostly been ignoring it. 3. Why didn't you and your husband kick her out earlier? Trust me, I wanted to. But I didn't want to cause more drama at my wedding than what she'd already stirred up. A lot of the people who attended the wedding, especially people on my side, knew who my ex-boyfriend was and the way he treated me. So my SIL was already getting looks from them for bringing him in. In fact, my maid of honor, my best friend, even asked me if I wanted her to kick my SIL and her +1 out, but I told her no. I knew that people were already talking about the fact that my ex-boyfriend was at the wedding, and I didn't want to make things worse by having him thrown out. I also got a lot of questions about how my husband was even comfortable with the fact that the only other man I dated was present at our wedding, and let me tell you, he was not. He hated the fact that my scumbag of an ex was there, but he had the same thought process as me. He didn't want to add more fuel to the gossip fire, so he shut his mouth. Looking back though, I'm glad we didn't make a bigger scene, especially since karma did the job for us. Now on to the juicy update. A few days after the wedding, my husband got a message from his sister's boyfriend. He apologized for causing a scene. He felt terrible about how everything went down but said he couldn't sit quietly after seeing her with my ex. My husband told him that we didn't blame him for what he did. If anything, we were grateful that he exposed her for who she really is. During that conversation, her boyfriend dropped even more bombs about her. He said he'd been suspicious for months because she had been pulling away from him. They had been in a long-distance relationship for the last 2 years, and for the past 4 months, her behavior changed completely. She stopped answering his calls regularly, got cagey about their plans, and made excuses to avoid seeing him whenever he suggested coming down to meet her. That's when he decided to do some digging. He managed to access her social media accounts, and what he found was wild. She wasn't just messaging my ex, she was talking to multiple men. It's not clear if she was dating all of them, but she was definitely entertaining them behind his back. He also learned that she reconnected with my ex over a year ago and had been seeing him secretly ever since. I don't think that she wanted everyone to know that she was seeing him when she brought him to our wedding. She only wanted to make me uncomfortable and ruin my day, but her boyfriend came in and exposed her for who she really was. Here's where things get even worse for her. Her boyfriend revealed that she had been using his money to fund her lifestyle. She lied to him about needing financial support for bills and other expenses, but instead, she was spending it on herself and, apparently, also used it to go on dates with other men. He's now taking legal action to get back some of the money she took without his consent. I don't know all the details, but he said he's spoken to a lawyer and is building a solid case against her. As for my ex, he's been looking on social media and he even tried to contact me. I blocked him immediately, but just knowing that he's out there trying to stir the pot is unnerving. My cis boyfriend also told us that my ex-boyfriend had reached out to him. He was adamant about not knowing that my sis was in a relationship already and told my sis boyfriend that she had been the one to make a move on my ex first. My ex said that he felt blindsided by the whole situation. Whether that's true or not, I honestly don't care. He's not my problem anymore. Speaking of problems, my sis's behavior has gone completely off the rails. She's been texting and calling me nonstop and begging me to help clear her name. She's claiming that we set her up by inviting her boyfriend, which is ridiculous. My husband had invited him as a surprise because he thought they were in a happy, committed relationship. He wanted to do something nice for her because he knew that she was the kind of person to also throw a bit of a fit later on because she felt too lonely at the wedding. If I'm being completely honest, my husband only invited her boyfriend so we could have a good wedding and post-wedding without my sis in our ears, complaining about how she was all alone. She's also been spinning all kinds of stories to mutual friends and telling them that I plotted to ruin her life and that her actions were blown out of proportion. Her family isn't having any of it, though. They're as fed up with her as I am. My husband's mom told us that my sis recently caused drama at a family gathering by picking a fight with her youngest sibling. Apparently, she accused them of taking sides against her and demanded that they convince my husband to forgive her. When that didn't work, she stormed out and hasn't been in touch with them since. This isn't even the first time she's crossed the line with her family. A few months ago, she borrowed money from her parents, claiming it was for car repairs, but they later found out she spent it on a luxury spa day. She also had a falling out with a cousin after spreading rumors about their relationship. It's like she thrives on chaos and drama, and honestly, I'm over it. I'm glad that all the chaos she's caused has finally come back to her, and that she finally has gotten a taste of her own medicine. So, where do things stand now? My husband and I are focusing on our marriage and moving forward. His sister is not a part of our lives right now, and we're both fine with that. Her ex-boyfriend has been a class act throughout this whole mess, and we wish him the best. I'm still angry about what she did, but I also feel a weird sense of relief knowing she can't hurt us anymore. Do I feel bad for her? Honestly, not really. She brought this on herself, and it's not my job to fix the mess she created. That said, I do wonder sometimes if I should at least hear her out, even if just to get closure about how and why she chose to bring my ex to the wedding. But for now, I think I'll stick with blocking her and focusing on the people who actually bring positivity into my life. Thanks again for all your support. You've helped me feel less alone in this mess, and I really appreciate it. I'll update you again if anything major happens, but for now, I'm happy to leave the drama behind. Update 2. Hey, it's me again. Things have gotten even crazier, so here's another update. Buckle up because this one is a lot. A few days after my last post, my husband's sister showed up at our house. She didn't call her text ahead, just decided to show up out of the blue. My husband wasn't home at the time, so it was just me. When I opened the door, there she was crying, mascara running, the whole dramatic act. She begged me to let her explain. She said that she didn't really mean to hurt me by bringing my ex to the wedding. She claimed she only did it because she felt like I was taking her brother away from her. I honestly couldn't believe what I was hearing. How is that even a valid excuse for what she did? I mean, did she not realize that in ruining my day, she was also ruining her brother's? If she cared so much for her brother, she would never have actually done something so horrific. I told her I wasn't interested in her excuses and asked her to leave. That's when things took a turn. She snapped and started yelling at me. She said that I had ruined her life. She blamed me for her now ex-boyfriend suing her for thousands of dollars that she apparently doesn't have. She also accused me of poisoning her brother against her and said it was all my fault that her family was cutting her off financially. I tried to stay calm, but she was completely unhinged. I told her she needed to leave, or I'd call the police. She wouldn't leave right away, though. She kept ranting and screaming on my front porch, saying that I'd regret doing this to her. Eventually, I stood my ground and repeated that I'd call the police if she didn't leave immediately. After some more yelling, she finally stormed off, but not before shouting something about how I'd regret it once again. It was honestly scary. The next day, I found out she had taken her meltdown to Facebook. She posted this long rant where she basically accused me of being a manipulative gold digger who turned her brother against his family. She even claimed I was obsessed with my ex and had invited him to the wedding myself. I mean, the audacity. That part especially made me laugh because everyone who was there knows how ridiculous that is. Thankfully, most of our friends and family weren't buying her nonsense. People were shutting her down in the comments, calling her out for her lies. A few even messaged me privately to let me know they had my back. My husband and I decided not to engage publicly. We figured it was best to let her dig her own grave and not give her the attention she clearly wanted. But I can't lie, it hurt. Reading all those lies about me, even though I knew they weren't true, still stung. I don't like drama, and the last thing I want is for people to think I'm some kind of manipulative villain. It's frustrating that she can't just own up to her mistakes and move on. Meanwhile, her ex-boyfriend has been keeping us updated on his legal battle with her. He's suing her for a lot of money. Apparently, he had given her access to his bank account because she was struggling and he wanted to help her out. He had only given her that access so she could use it whenever she really needed extra funds. But then after reviewing his statements, he discovered that she had been funneling his money into a secret account and using it to fund extravagant trips with my ex. And according to my ex, these trips have always been suggested by my SIL and she was adamant about spoiling him. Literally, how messed up is that? She's now in some serious financial trouble. She's been begging him to drop the case, but he's standing his ground, and honestly, I don't blame him one bit. Hearing about her double life has been eye-opening. I knew she was manipulative, but I didn't realize just how far she would go to get what she wanted. She's been lying to everyone, not just me, and now it's all catching up to her. Right now, on the one hand, I feel relieved knowing that people are starting to see her for who she really is. On the other hand, it's exhausting dealing with the fallout of her actions. I don't want this to consume my life, but she keeps dragging me back into her mess. For now, my husband and I are staying focused on each other and trying to move past all the drama. It's clear that his sister has no intention of taking responsibility for what she's done, so we've decided to cut her out of our lives completely. We've blocked her on everything, and if she shows up at our house again, we won't hesitate to get authorities involved. As for her ex-boyfriend, we're supporting him however we can. He didn't deserve to be dragged into her mess, and we hope he gets some closure from his case against her. That's all for now. I'll keep you posted if anything else happens, but honestly, I'm hoping this is the last we hear of her for a while. Thanks again for all the support. You've been amazing throughout this whole nightmare. Update 3, hey, it's been a while, about 7 months since my last update and things have only gotten more intense. I'm here to finally wrap up the saga of my sister-in-law's meltdown. Honestly, I never thought I'd be typing another update, but I feel like I owe it to you all since you've been so supportive and I've gotten a few messages from people asking for an update. So, here it is. First things first, my SIL's life has become a complete nightmare. It's like everything she did to everyone else has come back to her tenfold. Last I heard, she's lost just about everything. Just to recap, my ex-boyfriend dumped her right after the wedding fiasco, which is no surprise, considering how much she'd lied to him, and that only made things worse. She's now completely alone and, as expected, blaming everyone else for her problems. She's made some truly bad choices, and now she's paying the price for them. As for the lawsuit, it's still ongoing, but things have taken a turn for the worse for her. Her ex-boyfriend is moving forward with his case, and it's not looking good for her. She's in serious trouble. Other than taking money from his account and using it to spoil another man, my SIL also had even been running up expenses on credit cards in his name. He's suing her for not only the money she owes but also for the emotional distress she caused him. While the case isn't fully resolved yet, it's clear she'll be facing consequences for her actions. She might even end up having to declare bankruptcy, and there's a chance she'll be facing criminal charges. From what I've heard, her ex-boyfriend's lawyer is confident they'll win the case, and it's only a matter of time before my SIL has to pay up. There's no getting around it, she dug herself into a hole, and now she's stuck with the consequences. What's even more frustrating is how my SIL is still trying to frame me for ruining her life. After everything she's done, she's somehow still pointing the finger at me. She's told anyone who'll listen that I'm the one who destroyed her relationship and ruined her future. It's beyond insane. She hasn't once acknowledged that she brought this all on herself. I know she's trying to manipulate the narrative and is probably trying to make herself feel better about the mess that she's in, but the thing is, people see right through it now. I've gotten a few messages from friends and family telling me that they've heard her lies and don't believe a word she's saying. A lot of them even tried to get me to retaliate or say something, but I'm honestly so over it. She tried to ruin my wedding in the worst way possible, and I didn't react then. So, I'm not going to give her the satisfaction of a reaction for me now. Not to mention, everyone knows she's lying and trying to get attention, so there's really no need for me to say anything at all. But even though most people are over her drama, she's still trying to drag more family into it. She tried to get Jake's parents to take her in again, but when they refused, she accused them of abandoning her and choosing Jake over her. They're completely done with her now, too. They kicked her out when she showed up at their house begging for money, and they've made it clear to her that they won't support her anymore unless she owns up to what she's done and agrees to get her life together for good. If I'm being really honest, it's hard not to feel some level of sympathy for someone who's clearly spiraling, but at the end of the day, my SIL made her choices. She was given so many chances to make things right, but instead, she chose to lie, manipulate, and blame everyone but herself. I'm sure I'll get more questions, but to sum it all up, my husband and I have cut her off for good, and we're better off for it. The only way we've got any kind of information is through other people telling us about it, but we've pretty much decided to cut that off, too. Jake and I have been through enough together to know that we're stronger when we focus on ourselves and not on toxic people. I'm sure my SIL will continue to spiral, but that's her journey now, not ours. We've moved on, and we're not looking back. Thanks again for all the support. You've helped me through some tough times, and I'm glad I could share this journey with you. This is the final update, and honestly, I'm hoping that's the end of this chapter.